We're live at the moment? How do I look? Do I look beautiful?
All right. Should be good to go. Let's see if I can get a good Glad game hand. I'm going to try to do this way. I don't have the headphones on, so I don't know if you can actually hear me yet.
I can hear you.
Can you hear?
Oh,
Hello.
I can hear.
We always have such an interesting start
That we do.
to this. Because now I got to check the YouTube feed to make sure we're good.
Oh, because of that like glitch in the program.
Right, to make sure that it's getting the proper video. It looks like it is. Let's check. I'm just doing a couple fast forwards. Login. Good. We're good. Welcome, Glad Game Pod, episode 75.
Welcome.
Getting there. We're almost at triple dig, baby. 3/4 the way. I love it.
We got a couple weeks left, but yeah, we're getting there.
Speaking of getting up in digits, our own Seiji over here had his birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
Getting old as shit.
Big
I won't.
33.
Oh, I was just gonna say I won't say the age, out of respect, but I'll put that out there.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the respect.
I was like, I won't say the age. You're like, big old 33. It's like, all right, well, he's 33. I mean, I'm 32, so it's not like we're running too far behind each other.
Yeah.
But no, it's exciting, you know. So what do you think for the birthday? What are we feeling? Are we getting new games? Let's talk about that. Let's get the birthday boy opener.
Yeah, my one buddy got me Munchkins.
The game or the donut holes from
The game.
Dunkin' Donuts? Okay. How are we liking that?
The card game. We played it with him and his wife a couple months back and really enjoyed it. Casey kicked our ass.
Okay.
And yeah,
Was it the first time you
excited
played
to
it?
play some more. Yeah, it's kind of like I guess you could say it's like a little Dungeons and Dragons inspired kind of thing, but it's
Okay.
also like a little bit cheeky and
Love the
funky and
cheeky.
like obviously it has just different
What
types of characters that are stronger against other ones and blah blah blah.
So like
yeah.
Pokemon.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's always the question.
beer
Is it
today,
like
sorry,
is it
guys.
like Pokemon or is it like Dungeons and Dragons? The eternal question. We may never know the answer to that. All right. As we go into this, we're also got the Penn State game on the other screen, which just went to 6th overtime, which is always fun and not stressful when your team is 7th in the country against a unranked terrible team. So, but not today. We've been the terrible ones today. Anyways, so we got a lot to talk about. We're on a slight tight schedule. Because Sage has got plans he's got to get out of here for.
Schedule.
So we got to make sure we keep it nice and tight, just like Kegel. You know?
Tiger? Oh, okay.
No, that's
We're going to
like the
different direction.
Vagina Exercises.
I see.
Keep it tight. You would know.
I think guys can Kegel too.
Can you? Can we?
Yeah,
Is it like for the ass?
that's what makes your
Like
go up
prostate?
and down.
My dick?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
like
know when
cock
you can
push.
just stand there and you can. Yeah, exactly.
Like cock push-ups. How many cock push-ups can you do?
Probably like 1,000.
You didn't get. You don't listen to Tenacious D?
I have like a vague
He's
memory of.
He's like, how many cock push-ups? He's like, one. One is all you need. I was like, oh, we're gonna nail this, but no. What an interesting. We haven't had that sexual of a start.
In a while.
In a while, yeah. We used to do it a lot because you would force it down our throats. But but anyways, let's get it on. Cool stuff. We finally got the trailer for Uncharted.
Yes.
I didn't love the Tom Holland casting or the Mark Wahlberg, mainly because everybody was like Nathan Drake should be Nathan Fillion. I mean, he is like the perfect The problem is they kept delaying this movie forever.
Yeah,
and he
so
just
he's
kept
just
getting
too old.
older. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Not to
wanna
mention,
make
was
a
he ever
franchise
like
out of it.
that physical of an actor? I know, like in
And Firefly,
that he had like a decent amount, but he wasn't like.
I mean, for what they would need Drake for, I mean, it's like Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones. I mean, it's the same.
But Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones was still a pretty young
But I'm
guy.
saying
Back then.
but Firefly was about the same. My point is, he did the same amount of physical.
Well, yeah, if he did it
during
15 years ago,
Right.
But
I think it's like 20. But yeah, that's my point. But then a couple years ago, it's probably 5 at this point. Yeah, it's probably 5. He made an Uncharted short film with him as Nathan Drake,
that sounds sweet.
escaping like this like drug lords thing, and I mean he nailed it. He was doing it because when it was first tested that they were having the movie, and he was kind of like you know how like Ryan Reynolds did the Deadpool test leak.
Yes. Yep.
And other actors have done this before, where they leak something of them doing it, and they're like, "It's what the fans want." And I mean, it was awesome. But problem is, Nathan Fillion would be perfect for Nathan Drake right now. I think he still would be fine today. I don't think he'll be good in 2 years. And the problem is, if Uncharted's good,
they're gonna keep making
it's a franchise.
Yeah.
Tom Holland, it's like he might be like, let's take a little bit of a breather from Spider-Man, or maybe not. He could probably do both, but
Yeah. That
But
is
he's
like
growing
kind of
up.
dovetail out of it. I mean, there's only so
Right.
many Spider-Mans you can make.
right.
That being said, they keep making everything. So who
Right,
knows?
exactly. So I don't know if they'll do but you can do like the older Spider-Man stories, because like we always have the teenager one. It's always a remake of him in high school. There's the first one every time.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that gets it. But like then that's kind of what they're doing with this. So anyway, my point is Tom Holland's kind of guaranteed because he's likable. He kind of has the look, and if you're doing a young Nathan Drake,
Yeah.
I mean, you could do 3, 4, 5. I mean, you could do a franchise with Tom Holland easily, and with Mark Wahlberg as Sully, because Sully is an older guy, and you're doing like the Mark Wahlberg age of Sully, so he can like age into Sully. So I get it. I didn't love it, but I was like, oh, let's wait to see before I really judge it. And I
Especially,
saw
too, this seems a lot more like a. I mean, I haven't played the games, but I don't think it's much of an origin story. They kind of already start in.
Oh, it's 100% an origin story.
Is it?
Yeah, it's so it's really interesting the way the trailer does a lot of callbacks from the game. But I'll get into that in a second. But they're now in 7th overtime. I'll get that in a second. But I get it because they're doing the young ones. It's like, all right, fine. So that being said, I think Tom Holland, from as much as trailer can tell me, he's got it. Because it's not that he can't be witty. We know that from Spider-Man. That's why people love him as Spider-Man, is because he's not like Tobey, where he's like a really good Peter Parker, or Garfield, where he's a really good Spider-Man, but not so much the other way. Same with Tobey. He could do both. But because he's good at being very nerdy and awkward, but also very good at the quips. And it's, I mean, a lot of that also has to do with the writing, but
Yeah.
his delivery and timing is great, which Nathan Drake is all about delivery and timing. So that's one thing I think they nailed with this, and he seems to be right on. And I like the way the trailer ends with the guy doing like the whole Scottish 50-word sentence, and he's like, "What?" It's like he nails like the Nathan Drake, and you see some action scenes where you kind of get the Drake action, but he's very much a young Drake, and he doesn't know who Sully is. So this is before he knows Sully. The first game, he's been with Sully forever.
Yeah. So do the games hit all those beats?
The games hit, so some of them. So the airplane scene where he flies out of the airplane, he's on the cargo thing, is exactly out of Uncharted 3.
That's
And I mean, they took some liberty. Like the bands are yellow in the game and they're gray in the, but and there's not like a guy chasing him. He's like falling out, and you just have to climb up. So they added some stuff, but the main gist of it, even like the angle of the shot,
Yeah.
pretty much 8th overtime. But pretty much the same thing. So what's also interesting to see is, like what you said with the plane, they really took a lot of segments out of the game. Like when he comes out of the water and sees the ships under there, that's like, and a lot of it actually seems to be Uncharted 3, Uncharted 4, which is interesting. but I think this is the reason why. They definitely didn't lift the script 1-to-1. I mean, they have Drake, Sully. He'll probably have like they'll get all the main characters.
I saw a bunch of people like stepping out of the plane, and I'm like, are those characters I should know? Or
well, I didn't recognize a ton. That's the thing. Like, I probably need to rewatch it slower, but I think what they're doing is in Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception, and Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, they have flashbacks of young Drake with his brother Sam and like how they got there and stuff like that. And this, when he meets Sully and he's looking for the map, is like ripped directly from that.
Okay.
So I think they took that like I don't know 30-minute sequence, and we're like, we're gonna make the first movie this 30-minute sequence. Nice. And then we'll go. So it's not really Uncharted 1. It's like a prequel to Uncharted 1, if you want to think about it in the gaming universe side. Again, it's not tethered to the gaming universe, and they're not going to use the script 1-to-1, but that's just what it seems like, which I think is kind of cool because it allows them to tell us a new story that they didn't tell us in the games.
Cool.
So I think some of that's cool. I think the Sully Drake banter is good. The only issue I have with it is he says, "Oh, you know my brother Sam," like 7 times in this fucking trailer. Like after you say it the first time, "Oh, you know my brother Sam," it's done. Like there's no other Sam in this universe. I can't think of a single other one in the Uncharted universe. You also, whoever's cutting this trailer, don't use the line that keeps saying that because he's like, "My brother Sam, my brother Sam." I mean, it gets to the point at the end of the trailer, you're like, dude, I know. You have a brother Sam. You've slammed it down my fucking throat. So the only thing is like, my bet is they're setting up Sam to be. There's 9th overtime. They're setting up Sam to be. I think it's going to end when we meet Sam, and 2 is going to be about Sam because I don't think they've cast him, or if they have, they definitely kept it under wraps because this seems heavily like he's trying to find Sam.
Yeah.
Which is what he does do in this prequel stuff in 3 and 4. He's always like trying to chase his brother Sam.
I wonder if they're like trying to make it something that like not a conspiracy theory, but they want people to try and figure out who Sam is and what the casting is for it, kind of thing.
Maybe. I mean, I'm sure if you like, I'm sure there's a bunch of I mean, I'm probably not trying to get because I want to kind of be surprised. And if they got an A-list, I would say Tom Holland's A-list at this point. For as young as he is,
yeah.
At least for his demo, yeah, he's.
I mean, once you start making that Marvel money, you're kind of A-list,
right? And he's done a couple other things outside of it, so it's like he's not just in that one role. So I think, yeah, getting an Uncharted franchise, let's say Mark Wahlberg, I think everybody would agree is A-list. So Sam has to be an A-list actor, right? Like you can't like be like, all right, we're gonna get some random Joe, because it's like. You're clearly setting up the entire movie to be about Sam. We want, as an audience, want a payoff. Just don't make it Timothée Chalamet. Why? Because I don't know who the fuck that is.
You will.
I know from Dune, but like other than that, he's like, I don't get why he's like so famous. And I'm like, how is he so famous? I've never heard of this person.
Because of younger people.
And
my
guess
sister's like obsessed with him.
Is he from like Disney Channel? Is that what it is? Because I didn't know who Zendaya was.
I don't even know if he is.
Yeah, I didn't know who Zendaya was until Spider-Man. And Tiffany was like, she was on the Mouse House or whatever the fuck. And because I never watched those Disney Channel shows.
Yeah.
And so there's like a ton of popular people that way. So it's like, all right, well, whatever. Fuck.
He's in Call Me by Your Name, The King, Little Women.
Yeah, but see, Call Me by Your Name was good. It was a great Oscar movie. But that was only a couple of years ago. So it's like, how did that skyrocket? He must have been in something like on TV prior to that built a audience. That's
Lady Bird.
Yeah, again, that's also like a super indie. I can't
I think that's it. He's just like an indie thing that a lot of like
people found him from there. It's his
Gen Z people, I guess, go crazy for.
Yeah, it's very surprising because you didn't see that with like Sam Rockwell, who did indies, right? Who's awesome. He's now kind of getting that respect, but not after he did 3 indie movies.
Yes, there are a large array of actors, and
right. Well, that's my point. That's why I was like, he had to have been on something else, but maybe not. I don't know. Either way,
I think just girls like him, and they're trying to get more girls like to go to movies.
Either way, just don't make it fucking. He won the Sam character. That guy, he's too much of a pretty boy. I guess in Dune he's not going to be. They're trying to get away from that look, but I don't know. I can't see it.
Yeah, and I think the king, he was like,
And plus, Sam is supposed to be older. I would think. Now I'm trying to think who I want Sam to be. I realize like we've talked about one game. Well, really, we've talked roughly about like one movie, one game. Penn State just lost.
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson would be a good Sam, actually. Penn State lost to an unranked team. Great.
Not great.
Anyways, yeah, Robert Pattinson
Jay's
would
gonna
be
be
good,
derailed
but
for
he's,
the
but
next
he's,
2 minutes.
Yeah, right. But I think he's gonna be too busy with the Batman, which also looks awesome. But I think he's not gonna have the time to do it. But I do think Robert Pattinson would be a good one. I'm trying to think like who else is like in that mid range, because if Tom Holland, let's say Tom Holland's like 24, Sam's supposed to be like 6 years older, 5 or 6 years older, so down like 30s. I'm trying to think like who, like Robert Pattinson would fit in that, or Patterson, I don't know how to say his name. He would fit in that demographic. But especially if you have Mark Wahlberg as Sully, you can't be like, you have to get in between the two.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know, but either way, you don't need to say my brother Sam, my brother Sam, my brother Sam. That was annoying as shit. But let's leave that past. It was fucking cool. When they did the plane scene, I immediately was like, "Oh my, that's the plane scene from Uncharted 3." Like, they nailed that spectacle. They seem to nail all the big action beats. It definitely shows like, hey, we're gonna do crazy action. We have the witty dialogue. We got the good banter between him and Sully. I don't know if it's gonna be as much of a love story as Uncharted 1 was, because Uncharted 1 was kind of a love story.
Yeah.
So I think that might be part of it. Although I didn't see a ton of who was on this cast, so which is kind of because like I didn't see Elena at all.
Yeah.
Which is like who becomes his wife. Spoiler.
Maybe they're building up to a Laura Croft crossover.
That would be pretty sweet. But the person that Sully knew, I think she might be. Hold on, Lost. I think she might be the person from Lost Legacy and Uncharted 2. But she was Drake's friend, not. She was Nate's friend, not Drake. That's. Oh my God, what is her name? Chloe.
Okay.
Did they say Chloe in that thing? Because remember how she's like, I'm Sully's friend. I would know. Sully doesn't have any friends. I would know I'm one of them. No,
I don't remember if they did.
No, she is. That's what I thought. So she is Chloe.
Okay, cool.
But that's weird because she was more Nate's friend. So that was Nate's other love interest.
Okay.
Too, that you end up playing as, and she's fucking awesome. So they're adding her in because Elena's like gone, but then she comes back halfway through the game.
Maybe it's, I mean, to go back to Spider-Man, kind of like a Gwen Stacy thing where they bring her in just to kind of switch up how it's playing. And
yeah. And she's also a treasure hunter. You get a controller and stuff in it.
Cool.
So, well, in Lost Legacy, her big thing is Lost Legacy.
yeah, not in the movie. They filmed that beforehand.
Yeah, you also don't control people. But but she came back with like Elena and stuff. So I'm curious to see if there's going to be anything with Chloe and Elena. Because if you have Chloe in there, I think it would be nice to see Elena. But I don't see on IMDb. It just has like the main three, which is those. It's Chloe, Nate.
They're usually pretty good about populating that stuff, so it probably isn't going to be a thing.
Yeah, no, that kind of just surprises the shit out of me. Which I'm okay with actually, if they want to do it at the end. Like if Sam's at the end, she's at the end. But either way, because there is other people in it, and it just doesn't have who they're as.
Yeah.
Like Antonio Banderas in it,
Huh.
Banderas, and it doesn't say his character in it. So it's kind of interesting to see. But yeah, so Chloe Fraser, Sophia Ali is Chloe Fraser, and she's one of the top listed cast. Which is like, so where's Elena in this whole thing? And it could be the Gwen Stacy thing. I think they got to get Elena in at some point, and I'm betting she's more going to be like, it's either going to be she's at the end of this, or it's Sam's at the end of this. But like they said, IMDb doesn't have another. Antonio de Banderas is definitely not Sam. It doesn't have his name listed. But he's not Sam. He's not Nate's 30-year-old. Like, he's older than Mark Wahlberg, I'm pretty sure. Definitely older than Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. He's definitely the villain. So it's like, I don't know who the fuck Sam is. That's my point. They keep shoving Sam down your throat. It's like, all right, we get it. You have a brother Sam. You need to tell me 100 times. Even, I know not everybody's played the games, but also people aren't stupid. Once you say it once in the trailer, it's like, you got it. So my only concern was if I'm watching the movie, because those are all different lines from different scenes. Does he say this a lot in the movie? He's going to say it like 10 times in the movie. You're like, oh, yeah, my brother's Sam. And I'll be like, dude, it's been 2 hours. We fucking got it. Just say Sam. Is there 6 Sams in this movie? No, just the one? Or none in the movie? Just the one that's referenced?
Yeah.
You can leave it as the initial, my brother Sam. Good, we got it. We understand. It's like, Sam used to do that. Not, oh, my brother Sam. Like if Wyatt did something, you want to... It's my brother Wyatt. Yeah. And then we were still having a conversation.
It's my brother Wyatt. My brother Wyatt's getting me a beer. My brother Wyatt just
I'll be like, what are you like? Trying to like fuck him? Like, it's almost like that guy with that $500 million house who kept being like, my ex-wife, well, not my wife, love of my life. My ex-wife, not my life, well, my love of my life.
Oh God, that was
painful. And he kept mentioning it, and it's like, we know who that is. It's a really weird. It's the one, by the way, on YouTube. You can watch the video. It's crazy, but the guy keeps doing like the full exposition. It's like, dude, I got it. Like, we know who it is. You don't need all this exposition. But other than that, it looks like it's gonna. I think we're gonna get another good game to movie translation, and I think that's because they took a shitload of story beats from the games, and they understand like we want the big action set piece. We want to do that. It's basically just make Indiana Jones. That's not Indiana Jones, and it's like, do you know how much you can bank that from if you make it good? So don't rush it and make it right, and you're gonna nail it. And I think they did. I got a lot of
basically Indiana Jones with a more marketable person than Shia LaBeouf. Love him, but he has kind of sullied his name a little bit.
Oh, nice, very nice. You get. Yeah, I was going to be like, I guess he's just hiding in Holland. Enough with the tomfoolery. Yeah, that was good. Thanks. Where's that thing? You didn't bring it.
What thing?
The hand thing, so I can pat myself on the back. Anyways, so that's kind of how I felt about that. I think it looks really cool. I know we kind of like we're going off on a tangent there and about movies, but you know when we get a big budget video game movie, it's worth talking about it. And like we can definitely talk. Games and movies have enough crossover that we can definitely talk a little bit about each one.
I will say we got through the first segment without you complimenting my shirt, and I'm very offended.
I can't see it over any of this.
Yeah, you were able to see it when I came over. It says poutine instead of Supreme. And
I love that.
I like it a lot.
That's very nice. Yes, nice job. Yeah. Well, you didn't compliment mine, which says
because I don't like it.
Nuff Company.
And I've seen it many a time.
Yeah. So you didn't compliment my hat. I do like your hat, the cupcake cross and bones.
Yeah, Johnny Cupcakes.
I don't know what that means, but
it's just like a company that sells shirts and apparel and stuff like that. And the guy started out at like the back of his car and
made cupcakes.
No, he makes shirts and he sells them in a store that looks like a bakery. And one of his favorite things is just posting angry reviews from Yelp where they were like, there were no cupcakes in this entire store.
How could there not be any cupcakes? It's disgusting.
And it's literally like ovens that you open up and have t-shirts in them or whatever.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
And he does like a lot of like pop culture art in like the cupcake. He has like his own style
or something.
And yeah, like there's this like little fat dude.
Now I'm just getting hungry.
Cupcakes, and he like when Mortal Kombat came out, he had like a whole line of like Mortal Kombat little fat guys eating cupcakes, and it's if anyone is interested, this site is I believe.
I think you kind of just sold me on it. I'm in.
He does like limited runs of everything, so they're all kind of collectibles.
Nice. So, and has to be doing this for a while.
So when I was trying to, my roommate was trying to get that like t-shirt company off the ground in college. He was like the guy that he was looking up to, and
damn, what was that, like 10 years ago now?
yeah, that's like 2008.
Yeah, you know what also was 10 years ago? The last time we got a Splinter Cell game. And we got some updates on that. So
Excellent
apparently
segue.
it is, yeah, I know, right? Apparently it is confirmed, but rumored, but confirmed, but rumored that a new Splinter Cell game is absolutely being made at Ubisoft. I think Ubisoft Montreal. So I'm pretty fucking excited because I need me some Sam Fish. I need my Sam Fisher. Like, I loved it. I'm curious if they'll get the same guy to voice him because he was so perfect at it. Michael Ironside. Classic. But because it's such a good, like, deep, guttural voice that you just,
It's kind of
it really establishes the character. And you might know him from such things as Top Gun as well. And that's pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was he was Viper, I believe. The one they're chasing.
Viper.
The one they're chasing. That he's like, you went over the flight deck. You didn't win. You gotta calm
Is this
down,
the new
Maverick.
one, by the way?
No, this is the original Top
Okay.
Gun I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Michael Ironside is like 70 or 80.
Okay.
Or higher.
Higher than 80.
I don't think he's dead. Let me just he's 71. He was also in Total Recall.
Nice.
Major Pain, Nobody. Oh yeah, that's right. He was in Nobody. Great movie, by the way.
It really was.
Yeah, a lot of fun. We had a good time. I mean, we had nothing to do with it, but we had a good time watching it.
Oh, I know who that guy is. All right, that makes sense.
When you see his face, it's like very like, but
Yeah.
he's Viper in Top Gun. I mean,
Definitely falls into that character actor category.
right, which is why it's crazy he got to do Splinter Cell, but he's just so good at it. So I mean,
Hell yeah.
and also it was Jester, not Viper. I knew it was an Anyways, but he's Sam Fisher, like through all of them.
Nice.
I'm curious if he's gonna come back because like we had Metal Gear Solid 5, Kiefer Sutherland took over voicing it, which was kind of weird because it was like why.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, and that was part of the Konami Kojima split time frame. I don't know if he was for it or against it. I don't know that off the top of my head. But I hope we can get Ironside back. I mean, 71, but it's like, dude, you're just behind a voice thing anyway, so who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But I guess they could cast somebody if they want to make... Again, it goes into like the Tom Holland thing. If they're going to restart this franchise and they want to guarantee they have that, I will say voice acting is probably the least... Like, you can do it at any age. It's probably the least, physically... As long as you're not doing mocap, like you're just doing the voice, it's... Which I'm betting Ironside was never doing the mocap. Although if he was, I would love to see that video.
Yes.
That'd be great. But anyways, yeah, so Splinter Cell apparently is coming back, and they were like a lot quicker than you think, meaning we could get it in 2022. Hopefully not February 2022 because there's like 50 fucking games coming out. In the last 2 weeks of February, there's like 10 AAA games now because Elder Ring just moved to the last week of February, and it's if you have a PlayStation, it's literally like 9 or 10 AAA games.
It's awesome.
Crazy.
So I'll play about one.
In 2024, yeah. Yeah. Given your trajectory,
I've also got my eyes peeled for a PS5.
yeah. So I guess once you get that, you can kind of like it will open you up a little bit more, and then
Yeah.
you can get the new Jackbox because you won't have to worry about doing it on Apple TV.
Did you see that thing it was like a TikTok that was going around. I don't know if it's been confirmed or whatever, but it just showed like a warehouse that's like, oh, if you're waiting for a PS5, it's
Just
because
come
Walmart has them, and showed like just this racking with like hundreds of PS5s.
No, but I believe it because they did say, remember they had enough to meet the demand and exceed the demand a couple months ago for the holiday season.
Yeah.
And Walmart is starting to do 3 p.m. We're going to sell from like 3 p.m. Whatever till we sell out. I'm betting they're just doing like, if we do that and we sell like 100 like every other day at 3 during the holiday week, from like Thanksgiving to Christmas, like we have enough units to do that. Like I really feel like if you want a PS5, you will be able to get one. It's just you're going to get it's going to be close to the holiday season.
Yeah. Walmart
so don't go to the
has
scalper
it online
bullshit. Yeah, it's a scalper stuff though.
for 100.
They let scalpers list on their site. So
Gotcha.
if you click it, it will go. You have to make sure it's Walmart Direct. Although the nice part this year is Best Buy confirmed. Best Buy, Target, Walmart are all getting them in physically, and we'll be selling them physically in the store.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
They're going to have online sales, but they're not going to. I don't think they're selling the ones that are in the stores online. So you can't have scalpers like, fuck you.
Yeah.
So you can buy
it might
from
be
the
Black
online
Fridaying then for the first time since.
I think you might be able to get before that because they're starting to do some stuff. I think like early November. I think second week in November, you're going to start being able to like, you could go to Best Buy and like, hey, we're going to have a PS5 sale. Because they did that it was a week or two ago. I got text updates because I still had them. I forgot you were looking for one and I sent it to Ray because it was like, hey, we're selling physical edition PS5 in store today at 1. And they just like tweet it out. And it's like, but it's like at this store. So, and they tell you at like 10. So it's not like a ton of time. And I think that's kind of an interesting way of doing it. But if you follow it's Shinibi, I think it is, on Twitter, he knows like every time these deals go up and he'll tweet like tomorrow at noon, Walmart, Best Buy this, here are the direct links and here are the stores that are doing it.
Damn.
So if you're actually looking for one, he's a good follow just to have on notifications for that because you put notifications on just for PS5 and that's how I got mine. Like he was like, Amazon's gonna be up, and I just was like, ding ding ding, and got it. So, I would honestly suggest that if you're really like trying to look. And I feel bad. I wish everybody could just fucking have one by now because there's so much stuff coming out. Again, I've been playing more NHL, and with the Frostbite engine, I mean, I fucking hate it, but I love it because it's so like, I mean, the cool thing about the DualSense and the Frostbite. You see, the Frostbite is making all the skate edges like have physical effects on the game, right? Because the new physics engine is able to handle it. Not only can you see the scarring, you can feel it. And by feel it, I mean when you skate over something that people skated on and has that, the chopped ice, the DualSense is vibrating under it, like where that would be. Like you kind of, when you're passing it, it kind of vibrates there. Remember the rain in Returnal? Yeah. Kind of like that.
Yep. Nice.
And it feels like... It feels exactly like if you've ever ice skated and you go over like non-clean ice where it's like, people have been skating on it, so it's all chopped. Yeah. And you kind of like, it's like driving in a car on gravel.
Yeah.
It feels exactly like that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel like that at the start of the game.
There would be a lot more Rumble Pack stuff happening if I was skating in real life, but.
Yeah. But it doesn't feel like that at the start of the game. After 5-10 minutes when you've been skating on it, then it slowly starts to go in. And then it doesn't feel like that. And then every period, because the Zamboni cleans it, it doesn't feel like that in the beginning. So it's kind of cool. And you see it happening on the ice. It's really like, and that's and the puck goes to the stick and it's very like to the stick, to the tape. You can kind of like feel the stick more. Whereas before, it's like, it's always like, this is the object radius that it can detect if there's an object touching it. And here's my detection radius. The detection radius of this thing is so finely tuned that it's like, it really, which also makes it such a pain in the ass because now it's like starting to get hard. So I played a lot of games and I used to destroy people on this and I'm like 50-50. Granted, it's been a while since I played, but still it's like I can't do half the stuff I could do.
A lot.
And it's like it's nice though. I'm glad it's more challenging because I'm like, it's not fucking just stupid. I don't feel like I'm getting beat by glitches. I feel like I'm getting beat by like this guy's playing like hockey strategy. Which is like what I want to lose by. Like, I don't want to lose because this is a glitch, and the goalie always moves to the right. Yeah. Like, they seem to have not just updated the physics engine, but the AI is way off. Because when you play on like the hardest mode against the AI, it feels like you're playing against person. They they're more aggressive. They get to the puck more. They do some things. I know this is not like the most interesting thing to some people who don't care about sports, but it is a game, and it's just interesting to see that they're applying this. And I know Madden's had stuff like this, but like NHL has always been like the long lost, the runt of the litter. Yep. And that's one of my favorites. And it's just nice to see that it's finally there. And it's really cool because it's leveraging like the DualSense and stuff like that, which I really enjoy. But yeah, I'm excited for Splinter Cell. I played all of them. I loved all of them, and I really hope it. I saw a lot of people like, "Oh God, do we really want Ubisoft doing this?" And I'm like, Ubisoft made all of them. Like they're like, well, given Assassin's Creed and all this shit, and like, and Watch Dogs, like, do we really want Watch Dogs, Splinter Cell? And I'm like, but Ubisoft made all the other Splinter Cell, so I think they're just gonna make Splinter Cell. Like,
Yeah.
I like, because everybody basically the assumption is it's going to be an open world Splinter Cell is like the heavy assumption, which I don't think is terrible. I think they kind of do it kind of like Metal Gear Solid 5, which was open world, but you had like a home base.
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but also Sam Fisher isn't Grand Theft Auto, right? Like, it wouldn't make sense as a CIA operative that it's like, oh, open world, just steal that car and drive through, kill a bunch of like.
Yeah.
It
I
almost
think if
is
anything, it'll
more
almost be more like
mission-oriented.
Hitman, where it's not as linear, but it's still not
Right, the
like,
maps feel more
completely open world. Yeah.
And that's exactly what I think they're going to do which is, what is that? Eidos, it's EIDOS.
Okay.
Montreal, and that's I think it's Eidos Montreal, who does Hitman. But well, it's IO Interactive, but I think Square Enix Montreal. Maybe I'm thinking of the original Hitman, but no, previously published by Eidos Interactive and Square Enix. Now it's IO. Anyways, that's great though, because you go into the games and the levels are like episodic.
Yeah.
But when you're in there, it is a large open world, and it's like you can kill these people however you want, like, or not, like knock them out. Like, this is all the stuff. There's 1,000 ways to do this, and there's a lot of cool stuff that you would never know if you just go one way or the other way. Like, you can replay the same levels over and over again. The new Hitman games are phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think that level architecture and design would fully fit Splinter Cell, and I think the only difference I would make is instead of the menu where you're selecting, is build the home base so you can like upgrade your gear like in the NSA like storage lab or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So you work in like a lab, but that's pretty much it. But then when you go and do a level, it's like what you said, and it's just kind of more of an open world, because that does fit Splinter Cell. It doesn't make it open world because that wouldn't make sense. I mean, I love open world games, but not every fucking thing needs to be open world.
Yeah.
Because some of them like doesn't make sense for Sam Fisher to steal someone's car and start driving around New York City. Like, it just doesn't.
This is correct.
So I'm pretty excited, and plus, like, he's always traveling all over the place. It's like open world. So where you can just put me in New York? It's like, let's go all over the place. We're NSA operative.
I'm also wondering if it's going to be like, I just remember it being so dark the whole game, and I'm sure there were different levels.
Like,
Splinter
do you mean
Cell.
story wise, or do you mean literal
dark?
Well, a lot of time, almost every level was at night, and almost everything was like an abandoned lab or warehouse that like. And that's part of it is like you hide in the dark.
Yeah.
I mean, a big part is you had a light meter, and you were never supposed to be like ever in the light.
Yeah.
And you shoot the light. But one of the cool things about Splinter Cell was like one of the first games that's like use the little pistol and you shoot all the little fluorescent light bulbs.
Yeah.
And stuff, so you can make like the hallway pitch black so they can't see you, and use your cool night vision goggles, which is obviously the historical, the triple night vision. Is the thing that everybody, I mean, it's the most recognizable thing about Sam Fisher, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the one box cover I feel was just like his face dark and then the three little green
So
lights.
you're absolutely right. They did some lighter stuff in the Double Agent one. I forget the name of it right now, but I get what you're saying. Like, he was literally walking in broad daylight. But that's because you were kind of like a rogue agent.
Yeah.
It was weird, but.
I guess maybe that's the difference between Hitman and Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
One you get to play during the day.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Well, my point is the later ones there was daylight things. And the Chaos Theory, you would get some jungle time. It's just like his whole thing is like hiding and stuff. So it's like, I guess it's difficult unless you're going to start taking disguises and shit.
Yeah.
But because that's one thing I do like about it. I like climbing up the air ducts, like doing that and creeping in the dark. And being like, there's more to fear out there than just what you know. If you have Sam Fisher, and that's always something I thought was really cool. But I do want like some light stuff too. Like, I want broad daylight.
Yeah,
because that is like that's part of what makes Hitman fun. Granted, he doesn't sneak anywhere. He's more like put the disguises on and blend in.
Yep.
But he's like, I mean, you can sneak, but not. It's not really most of the game. It's disguise and walk around and hide in plain sight. Where Sam Fisher is like, I was never here, so I can never be caught like any image. So it would be interesting to see if this is going to be canon, like, or if it's a reboot, like, completely. I would bet it's got to be a full reboot, which would make sense that it's not Michael Ironside.
I feel like that the technology is also just so much different that you can't do a complete reboot.
Right, and how old would he be? And also they did the whole thing with his daughter, like kill someone with a car or whatever, or his daughter was killed in a car accident. Like it got really weird and super dark, which is I thought you meant like the story wise.
Gotcha.
Which I'm fine with because the world itself is a dark, so it's like it makes sense, but it's also like, all right, let's like back this shit up a little bit. So I don't know. I am excited for that because I love the Splinter Cell games growing up, and I've missed them for a long time. So just give me anything, I'll play it. I don't get why everybody so hates it so much. Just because Ubisoft, they're not just like, all right, it's Assassin's Creed. Like you act like that's the one thing they make. It's like I don't get it, and it's like a pretty common reference, and I'm like, how does that? Whatever, like get over yourself. But anyway, so then we also got some interesting stuff. We got the Sony patents, which I'll pull up. We haven't had patent talk in a while. We missed patent. I'm not talking about the general. Oh my god, I should not wear this hoodie. I'm hot as fuck, but I have no shirt on.
It's a little toasty.
Yeah, you hit that button.
You hit that button.
I can't. Just the bottom button. Hit the bottom and then hit the left. Boom. We're talking about pens?
Patents.
Oh, I thought it was like pens. I was like, you're confused. Oh, yeah. Give Daddy that cool breeze.
Nice cool breeze.
That's what I needed right there. So Sony patents. This is really interesting. Sony patents the ability, and we love patent. We're big, not just Sony patent. I was loving it. Was like every episode was like, we got some patents, baby. It felt like we were finding new technology and declaring shit every week. It was awesome. That was
last summer. I think you could definitely tell they were like, "Hey, this pandemic thing's weird. Why don't you go play in the sandbox for a little bit?"
Yeah,
and people were actually coming out with some pretty interesting stuff.
And they were like, "Well, it turns out January to March they patented all the shit they R&D'd for a while, and like, here is 45 patents." So one new patent we got is Sony patents the ability for spectators to pay to bench players in games they're watching.
That's interesting.
Pay to remove from game, warn player to improve, provide custom message, or keep in game.
That's, yeah. I guess that's definitely more for like streaming or whatever, right? Or
so it was announced during the Evolution Championship Series, which is like the Evo fighting tournament. But I don't know. This could be there's not a ton of like it's really for esports and video games. It's not like the NFL. Like they're going to be like, "Oh, you got to take Carson Wentz out because 20 people like it's not that kind of shit." But it's basically like esports and stuff. Which I think it's innovative and cool. I think it's really fucking stupid to implement. That's how I feel about this. Because I would like imagine like you're an esports person, you're playing as your job to win a game.
Yeah.
And you count on certain characters because that's, whatever the character you use. And people are pulling that character out, telling you to improve and stuff during the game. And people are going to say that, but they say that on the Void, right? It's on Facebook, it's on Twitter and stuff. When you're in the game, you don't hear it. I'm not getting that shit in the game because I'm focused on my strategy and winning this game. You're not like, I'm in this zone to win. If you start letting that come in, it's like, now you're providing distractions to me for the game, which seems like defeat the purpose of the game. Like, it's like, then I'm just talking to you as like a friend. Like, it's, and I get it, like, if you're like, oh, these people are so good, let's make it harder, or let's make the underdogs get a chance.
Yeah.
But, like, that's also kind of like pay to win. If you can remove a player from the game, that's pay to win.
That's because pay to lose.
Yeah. I mean, it's, well, you're paying for the other people. The other people are probably going to win. You just pull all these characters out. I mean, it's just like, it makes no sense. Or like someone's injured or whatever, because one of the things is keep in game. I'm just trying to think of a situation like some injured character that you're like, oh, I got to swap them out. They're like, nope, you got to keep them. It's like,
yeah.
And it's like, well, how are you doing this? Well, my fans have more money than your fans. Because that's what it comes. Yeah. It's like, who fucking cares? Like, why is your money affecting my gameplay? Fuck you.
Yeah.
I think it's innovative. I like where their head's at. I just don't see how this could actually be implemented without massive.
Yeah. They also showed like a sports, like soccer on the article, right? But
yeah,
I'm not 100% convinced that's how they're going to use it. They could apply this to freaking anything, and you could probably get some pretty cool use cases for it. But yeah, it's definitely weird. I don't know where they're going with it, and I don't have a lot of confidence that it'll be like a cool thing to add to games.
Yeah.
But they're definitely pushing some envelope.
I think it's going to be more, the only thing I think survives the patent process of this, because you patent a lot of things, doesn't mean it's happening. It just means they thought of it and this is how they would implement it. Yeah. And the way they're saying they would implement it is what they own. Doesn't mean someone else can't do the same thing. They just can't do the same thing using the exact same schematics.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like it's also a way just to keep like ideas that their teams come up with within the company.
Right, and it also keeps the IP, but you can't take this anywhere. That's on us. You're infringing.
Yeah.
But I can't see remove player from game, keep in game. Those. The other one I can see really surviving, provide custom message, fine. Like, it's like, you're doing great, or go fuck yourself. Like, I mean, they probably get edited, but like, I could see that, something like that kind of existing in multiple realms. Warn player to improve. I mean, I don't know, maybe, but that seems incredibly toxic because, like, I think you're going to have people just spamming warn player to improve, right? The only thing you do is provide custom message, which will then be filtered messages. So you can't be like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be like, hey, bud, you're my favorite. I'm so excited for you. And it's like, cool. My message got to that person, and I know they read it. Like,
I also
that's
wonder,
cool. But other than that, it's like, they're not going to let you just say, I fucked your wife, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. I also wonder, too, if it's going to be, like, are they going to come out with their own streaming service that, like Twitch or something like that? And then that's going to be, like, something that's incorporated into it. And then the other thing is whether or not it's...
Yeah, that's definitely going to be part of it.
A one-person, like, I pay $800 and can say this. Or if it's, like, if 100 different people all put in $5, then this player gets kicked, or then you can like select from a couple different messages of what you want to send the person. So it's like, if it hits that goal, then you pay the $5, but if not, it's just like the bars, kind of like a Teespring or something like that, where it's like a crowdfunding thing where if it hits a certain point, then that action happens, but if not, everyone gets their money back.
I mean, I will say it was last year, right? Because that was lockdown 2020. Yeah. So there was a football league that I forget the name of it, that you literally could call the plays of a real life football. So basically the players, the viewers would pick between like multiple choice. And if like enough percentage did it, they had to run that pass play or that run play or whatever.
Interesting.
And you could really affect the outcome of like plays in the game. So it's very interesting to see like what's going to be the outcome of that, and like if it's something like that they're doing, because that did work and that was kind of fun, but it was also kind of like then like, why do you have a coach? Like like if they're going to do no coaches and then you're doing the coaching, but then I don't know, I've been on the internet too long. It's just going to be a bunch of trolls like they're trying to drive these real life people into the ground. If it's a real life sport or if it's an esport, they're going to try to drive them insane.
Yeah.
That's to me, this goes nowhere positive. It can only go neutral to potentially incredibly negative.
Potentially.
Maybe I'm definitely not naive. I'm definitely what's the thing? Jaded. Like from, my years on the internet. But I mean, you've seen Twitch, you've seen Twitter, you've seen Facebook. I mean, it's in our election period. It's people suck online, and now you want those people to interact with the game. That's like, well, the nice part about games is these people are really talented. They work 14 to 16 hours a day practicing, right? Like for their livelihood. And then you want to fuck with it. Like, what if I came to your job and I was like, dude, I paid $20, so you lost all your video history. Now you have to get all those shots back in 24 hours before your deadline. Wouldn't that suck?
Yep.
That's kind of how I feel like this is. And like, obviously no one's watching you do that. I'm sorry, but no one's watching me do my job either. But that's kind of how I feel about it. I like from an engineering perspective, think it's really cool. I get why they want to do it, practicality and implement, I would fucking hate this if I was a player. Like, unless it's like for the B League and you would not exist as a player unless you got in this league.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't, you're not making it pro. Kind of like how that football league I was talking about existed, where it's like, they're not going to be in the NFL, but we'll pay them to play in this league. And they just accept that some of the play calls might be called from the fans. And it's stuff like that, but those are multiple choice, right? You're not writing stuff in. That would be fine with this. It's like, hey, we're playing Rainbow Six Siege or we're playing Counter-Strike. Do we plant bomb at A or B? And they have to, the players vote like A or B, which bomb site to plant at, and then they take that action to go do it. That's cool, right? That's effective and stuff like that because they can still use their strategy. We're not like yanking them out of the game.
Yes.
But that's kind of like, that's kind of where I would see this more go to, or just the messaging to make sure that like your favorite player actually read your message, and that's a way of you like confirming.
Yeah.
You can tweet at somebody, doesn't mean they're gonna read it, but this way it's like there's a confirmation that they like reply back to you. You know,
it's gonna be the OnlyFans of gamers.
Yeah, exactly. That or Cameo or some shit like that. So it's, I don't know. I've never seen a patent that I'm so like neutral or like potentially just negative on.
Yeah,
I like the innovation.
Normally the patents are
exciting,
getting us hype, but
yeah.
no.
But I wanted to talk about it just because of that.
Absolutely.
I think every other patent
people, we gotta do it.
Yeah, with the patent boys. I think every other patent we talk about, we have like a lot of excitement and pumped upness
or confusion when
Yeah.
we're talking about that banana one.
But we're not like, fuck this. This one, I just can't see a single. I love the innovation and the tech behind it, and that's the only thing I like about it. All of the implementation I think is stupid as fuck, and I think it is incredibly negative to anybody who takes the sport or game seriously. Because if I'm doing that, I'm in my bubble. Go fuck yourself. I practiced for the last year to win this game, to get the 100,000 at the Madden tournament or like last year when I was doing the NHL tournament. If someone was like, "Oh, I'm pulling like your best line out," I'm like, "You can go fuck yourself, dude." Like I am not in unless I'm getting that money. Like we're gonna pay 50 grand all to your bank account if you do that. I'm like, okay. But also remember, there is betting on esports. And this is like almost reminiscent of the Black Sox, the 1919 World Series, where they bet on themselves to lose because they could control the game.
Yep.
It's like, how are you controlling that then? Because if I pull your players out, you are changing betting lines. Like imagine like if Aaron Rodgers was in a game and you're like, nope, he's out. Put in their third string quarterback because this guy played. Every betting line would be like, Foop! It's like, what the fuck? Like, and no one wants you to fuck with their money when you fuck with money.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's one aspect of this they're not thinking of. And granted, esports gambling is not like real life gambling. Not that esports is real life, but I mean like live action gambling.
Yes.
However, esports is growing. So is esports gambling. I think the more widespread it gets, the more widespread the esports gambling sphere is going to get. And it's like, do you think they're really going to want you to affect the odds makers on this? Because Vegas is going to be like, go fuck yourself. Like, but yeah, so I mean, that's kind of where we got from that. I guess we could have went right from Splinter Cell into the Discovery Tour of Ubisoft, but fuck it. Let's just go what you're playing. You're talking to me about a Star Wars game you've been playing mobilely.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about that.
So,
Oh, and I do want to mention, I was playing Sage and I talked about this because I was like, I played this terrible game. And I won't say the name of it because we're glad you game. And I don't remember. All my fun. It had like all this stuff. You build like castle, walls, this. You're doing resource management, building barracks, like Age of Empires. But it also had like your own hero select, and you can play as your own hero to fight dragons. And then it also had castle defenses. Like it had like 50 minigames. It was just too much. And sometimes it's like, what is the focus of your game? I get you're trying to do. You're an inch deep and a mile wide.
Yep.
And I feel like with gaming, that can work, but it's also very convoluted, especially the way they implement it. It's better to be a mile deep and an inch wide. Like, because then when people find that niche, they're like, these dudes do it better than anybody else. Only one company, only like maybe two companies, but one really effectively has done a mile deep, a mile wide, and that's Rockstar with Grand Theft Auto. That's it. Like, no one else has done something as effective. Where they have mini games, all this shit.
Maybe like Persona or Yakuza or whatever. I feel like those games.
Well, Yakuza's great. Your Persona, I would say more, but that's still it's almost kind of nichey because it has like specific niche stuff.
Yeah.
And I was even thinking Skyrim, but it's maybe Skyrim too. But I'm thinking consistently that you trust is probably Rockstar, and it's like so they're like the 1%. It's like they're the GOAT studio right now.
Yeah.
And no offense, your mobile game isn't that. Like you're not going to be that. Don't try to do that. It's almost like the reverse No Man's Sky. They promised the world, couldn't deliver it. Now they kind of have. Like, they've effectively done it, but, like, they got shit on. Now, this game isn't the same PR or whatever, but it's like the castle defense minigame in there is actually really good. The other stuff doesn't make sense to me. It wasn't that fun. The castle defense.
Yeah, it's like a farming simulator, castle defense.
Right. It's Age of Empires, like, and then you can attack other civilizations. So it's like a Clash of Clans knockoff, but not as well done. And it's really like Age of Empires with like 4 other games, but they're all like half made. But the castle defense isn't, but it's clearly a side game that they don't really care about that much. And I'm like, dude, this is your game.
Yeah.
Drop the rest of the shit out. Expand this. And like, this is a game that people can jump in and play. Remember, it's a mobile game. People will play mobile games for hours, but they're not generally. It's not Age of Empires, not like these narrative stories. Clash of Clans, jumping in for 5 minutes a day, checking, updating resources. Yeah, this thing I don't even know where the fuck to go. Jump in, do a couple castle defense runs. Maybe I play for 2 hours because I'm just like next level up. But then I don't play for a while, right?
Yeah.
And that's when you in the game you're going to talk about is the same way. It's not Splinter Cell where I'm doing this long narrative thing. Now I know people play Fortnite, but Fortnite is still pretty quick too. Those matches only last like 10 minutes, so. That's kind of like, I feel like this is the game that's like you're on a PC and it's like a hard RTS that has all this other shit. And it's like, yeah, I'm not spending like an hour doing resource management and 4 other games on my cell phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it just
exactly.
doesn't, like Stellaris does that really good, except I play that on PC or PlayStation. Like I would not want to play that on my phone.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's stuff like that. That's like, know what you're good at, and you've developed something nice. It's a fun castle defense game that I think they didn't put as much effort into, and it's actually the best part of their whole game. So it's like, dude, like drop that. So I won't say the name again, out of respect. 2, I don't know it. But it was like some medieval fucking game. And I deleted it because I was like, right after I showed you, I was like, well, I played like 20 levels of the castle part, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. All right, so with that, Sage, you got a fun game you've been playing?
Yeah, so Lego Star Wars Battles PvP Tower Defense. Apparently, I did not see the last part of it, and I was like trying to explain it, and I'm like, it's kind of like Tower Defense, but you're playing against another person. And
it's like PvP Tower
you're
Defense.
Like attacking while also defending, and yep, that's exactly it.
If I just read the title, I would have known. Oh, it's PvP Tower Defense.
They have so many registered trademark. Like there's literally Lego registered, Star Wars trademark, Battles hyphen PvP Tower Defense. I'm like, all right, that's
Jesus.
Yeah, an eyeful. But yeah, it's real fun. They're short games, which ends up meaning that I spend a lot more time on it because I'm like, I could do another one.
Right, exactly. But that's all you're jumping directly into that. You don't have to jump into 5 other.
Yeah. And what's that game in Witcher 3? Gwent. Right?
Yeah.
That
actually became its own mobile game that's
very much
huge.
So. Yep. It kind of has like a Gwent feel to it because you're just like balancing all these strengths and weaknesses between different types of units. And it's Lego, so when people get blown apart, like the like pieces go everywhere. And like everything gets like built real quick. Like your towers are just like with Lego pieces. So that stuff's always just like, there's a certain part of me that I feel like will always love just like the Lego aesthetic. Right. And then, yeah, you can get your different key players like Luke and Vader. And
you got to get your boys.
Yeah. Yep.
Get that boy. Get your boys.
Yeah, you can unlock other people with a lot of stuff. It's weird that they clearly wanted to put like female heroes in it, but did Captain Phasma and Leia, which I'm like, why wouldn't you use Ray in there? I feel like that's the easy answer.
Especially if you got Captain Phasma, you're using the new trilogy.
Yeah.
So that definitely seems like, yeah, I would agree.
Maybe they needed to balance like who was on the dark side, who was on the light side, whatever. But oh, and that's the other thing that's cool too, is you're almost playing like 2 games at once, where you're individually scored on how well your team does when you're playing on the light side and how well you're doing on the dark side. You can unlock new levels with like the combined points.
Okay.
But there was like a period where I was doing twice as well playing dark side characters as I was doing light side characters, which is always like a pain too when it's like, you know, that dark side's more fun. Like you got Vader, you got whatever. Like in the movies you want to root for him, but when it comes down to like who you're going to put on the field, and you got like the freaking cool robots and stuff like that, and then the light side is just your fluffy characters. And
I mean, they're fun too.
They are fun, but like what are the porgs? They literally have like armored porgs that go out, and I'm like, this is just stupid.
Yeah.
And like a little Ewok contingent, and then you're going up against like droids and these freaking helmeted dudes with flamethrowers and stuff like that, and you're like, I mean, I think I know who would win if this was a real fight, but we'll play out your little Lego scenario here.
Yeah.
The art direction's also just really good, because
it looked really cool when you showed me a battle or whatever. I was like, this is actually like pretty tight.
And I didn't know it was a tower defense game because of that. Like I watched the trailer,
or even the name. Reading is difficult.
I watched the trailer, and it had just like, it looks like it expands way beyond the play screen, and then you find out that it's like just well designed, where it's not like a clear base on one side and a clear base on the other side and like walled off. It's
right. It feels larger than it is, which is nice. That makes you feel like
you have like ships that have landed on either side, and you're like progressing toward it, and there's like debris or things on the ground that you have to like navigate around. Debris. It's fun, and it has that kind of like you get to a checkpoint, you can put a tower on that person's side. And you're just trying to kind of get more of the battlefield. I don't know what you would call that, where it's that constant like tug of war type thing where it gets a lot more tense the closer stuff gets to it, where it's kind of auto balancing, where it's like just drop all your troops right where they need.
PvP tower defense is what I would call it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
I like it.
Maybe a Squid Game. Which, speaking of which, I did play a Squid Game iOS game. I beat it all in one try. The cookie thing, didn't even care where you moved your finger. It was just you hold it for a time, and you just got to make sure you ease up on the corners. And I was like, bing. and then after you beat it, it was so fastly done when you beat the last one.
Yeah.
It's just like, it doesn't say anything. It just restarts the first game and clears the board.
All right.
And I was like, all right, well, you guys wanted to just pump it. It's number 1 on the Apple Store.
Yeah, that stuff is like,
it'll go down, but it's because
stupid.
everybody. Yeah. It's because the popularity of that. I just thought it was. I don't even remember the name of it. It was like animal Korean fun games, because they couldn't say Squid Games, so they used like different notable thing. And I was like, okay. And then there's like 7 others. So I don't know which one I played. Anyways, let's jump into some triv. You got some trivia today?
I do not have trivia.
Well, I do. Kind of based off what you were talking about earlier.
Tell me.
What are the top 5 selling Lego video game franchises or Lego video games?
Oh God.
They have made a lot of video games.
I know they have. I don't think I know any of them by name.
Well, that's gonna be. Well, you don't even know the ones by name that you play.
Yeah. So we'll start with Lego registered, Star Wars trademark, PvP.
Okay.
No dice.
You don't need to say the registered trademark, but so what you're saying? Lego Star Wars.
Lego Squadron Star Wars. Lego.
Wait, what are you? Give me one name. Like are those actual guesses?
Yes.
Okay, so Lego Star Wars
Squadron.
All right, that's your first guess that I have. These actually are all very guessable, by the way.
Lego Battlefront. Star Wars.
Okay.
Lego Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay, well, I'm not going to keep writing that, but you have 2 guesses left. Those 3 are wrong.
Lego Jedi.
Okay, you have 1 guess left. Stop
I don't
guessing Star Wars. These are all very guessable. I'll tell you.
Oh, wait, they're not Star Wars. They're
Just their top-selling game franchises.
I see what you're asking now. Star Wars, Batman,
Well, you have
Marvel.
I'll let you reset. It is the name of the game, though, so it's not the franchise.
I don't know.
But no, those are better guesses. So, all right, we're going to do this one more time now that you, I guess, understand what I'm saying. They did make multiple Star Wars games, so there could be multiple Star Wars games on this list, but it's not going to just be Star Wars.
I see.
And it doesn't mean it is Star Wars. Just
Star Wars, Batman, Marvel. I'm going to say just Spider-Man. And
wait, is Marvel the game or Marvel Spider-Man? You said Star Wars, Batman, Marvel, Spider-Man. Are those separate games?
yes.
Okay. So one more guess.
I forget that stupid island one. The Pizza Island.
Well, that's just the Lego game.
Oh, so that doesn't count. All right.
Could be. I said the top-selling Lego games.
Then yes, that one. I have to imagine that adjusted for inflation.
It's not. All right.
Well. No, it's not.
I mean, you almost got. That's why I said they're guessable. So it's Lego Marvel Superheroes is one. But you
I get a point for that. Yeah.
You said Lego Marvel, so we're gonna have
Get
to
a point for that.
We'll give you half a point.
Whole point.
Then it's Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4 specifically.
There we go.
And I was like, just think of like top selling movie franchises because that's pretty much all you need to do. Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. You just said Lego Star Wars, and 50
sounds like
other.
I got points.
I'll give you half a point for that, so you have 1 full point. Lego Batman the video game. You did say Batman. Since it's just Lego Batman the video game, I'll give that one to you, so you have 2 points. You get a full point for that. The other one is, and I'm not giving you a point for this. There's no Spider-Man. There's no Lego game. The other one is Lego Batman 2 DC Superheroes.
Oh, okay, good. More points.
No.
Yep.
So you got 2 out of 5, and that's not bad.
4 points.
2 out of 5, but
Yeah,
you
but
could have
in
just like.
points, it's 4.
That's how I was like. These are all very guessable because you're like, what's a big movie franchise? Because that's pretty much all it is. I just thought that was interesting. They just celebrated their big major milestone because
No, there'd be a mem.
because in December of 2020 was the 25th anniversary for Lego. Do you know what it was the 25th anniversary of?
The Pizza Island.
Yes, it
Sweet.
was the Lego's group's first ever video game,
Nice.
which is the Lego Island game, I believe. So
What geniuses.
yes, they nailed it. I mean that
Yeah.
that game.
That and Lego Studios. That's what got me into film.
Yeah, it's just called Lego Island, and it was awesome. Actually, I think that was a different game. That was the 25th anniversary, but whatever, we'll move past it. Because this is 97,
Yeah.
December 2020. That actually would have been 23 years, so they must have made something before it. The one you're thinking of is Lego Island, but fun fact, there was a sequel to Lego Island 2, Brickster's Revenge.
Oh, man. It was just my birthday, or I would have put it on my list.
Yeah, the Brickster's Revenge.
The Brickster's Revenge.
Oh, wow, that looks... Let me just pull this up. It was on Game Boy Color. It was on PlayStation OG.
Okay. Okay.
You still got the pizza shop. And there's a spaceport now. Yeah, the spaceport is right next to the skate park in
Nice.
Lego Island too. So if you need to get off the island, you would think you use a boat, but instead you can just use the spaceport.
Of course.
How everybody travels and traverses off of islands these days, especially in 2000. All right, well, we're going all over the place now. Not that we weren't all day today. Thanks everybody for joining. Episode 75. We're getting there. We gotta think of something to do for 100. We got our Halloween party next week.
Oh yeah.
Sage has got It Takes Two. I'll be doing Guy from Free Guy, which is gaming because he is an NPC in a video game, which I thought that's kind of cool. And that's it. So, we will have a Halloween episode out. Well, this is the last time you'll hear us. If you're downloading on Mondays, this is when you'll hear us. Be so happy Halloween for that. But if you watch the live stream, we're going to have a live stream before because we're going to be doing it next Saturday before the party.
Yes.
But we'll probably start getting a little tuned up.
Tuned up, tuned in.
A little toast.
Tuned out.
A little toast. No, they'll tune out once we get tuned up. All right. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Bye. Keep gaming.
See ya. Click the links, people online.